When things go sideways and life as we know it changes in the blink of an eye, preparation becomes your lifeline. Whether it's a natural disaster, an economic collapse, or any other unforeseen crisis, having the right mindset and strategies in place can mean the difference between survival and struggle. These 10 rules aren't just guidelines, they are principles that experienced preppers swear by. From prioritizing resources to staying adaptable, we'll be covering everything you need to know to face any SHTF situation with confidence. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you'll be more prepared than ever to protect yourself and your loved ones. If you're ready to sharpen your preparedness skills, let's get started. 1. Dependence will be your downfall. If you're counting on government systems, external aid, or someone else swooping in to save the day, you're setting yourself up for failure when SHTF. Crisis situations don't respect order, predictability, or the tidy systems society depends on. When everything crumbles, those systems are the first to go. Emergency responders will be stretched thin, supply chains will be broken, and the infrastructure you've come to rely on will be useless. You'll be left to fend for yourself, and unless you've prepared for that reality, you're done. The first step to surviving is detaching yourself from the fantasy that someone else will solve the problem for you. Begin right now. Mentally step away from dependency. Understand that the water from your tap, the food at your grocery store, even the electricity keeping your home running are luxuries, not guarantees. When they disappear, your survival hinges on preparation and self-reliance. Develop your ability to solve problems without external inputs. Can you keep your family warm if the power goes out for weeks? What happens when roads are blocked and your location becomes isolated? If panic buying empties every store in a matter of hours, how long can you last? If those questions make you uncomfortable, good. Use that discomfort to motivate you into action. Stop assuming these what-ifs won't happen to you. Statistically, chaos hits when you least expect it. Preparation extends beyond the physical. Stockpiling gear and supplies has its place, but your mindset is what truly determines your ability to overcome. Stay focused on the idea that you're your own rescue plan. Start learning skills and practicing survival scenarios now, not someday. If it feels like overkill, that's exactly how you'll need to think to outlast others. Abandoning dependence isn't easy, but it's necessary. When systems inevitably collapse, you'll thank yourself for taking the hard road early. 2. Mastery beats gadgets every time. Your fancy survival gear means nothing if you don't know how to use it or don't possess the basic skills to survive without it. Tools break, get lost, or turn useless without proper conditions. Skills, on the other hand, go wherever you go. They're your ultimate insurance policy. Without them, you'll find yourself staring at a pile of gadgets you can't even use while the world burns around you. Survival isn't about what you have, but what you can do. You can have the best fire starter money can buy, but it won't save you if you don't know how to strike a spark in wet weather. Similarly, a top-tier water filtration system can't help you if you don't understand the basics of finding and purifying water by other means. Defense isn't about owning a weapon. It's about knowing how to neutralize threats while protecting yourself and your supply. Gear is just a bonus, not the solution. Your weakest skill, not your strongest, determines your survival odds. Think about that. Are you comfortable starting a fire without matches? How about purifying water if all your filters run out? Can you effectively defend yourself when the situation demands it? These aren't hypothetical questions. They're the difference between life and death. Don't wait until you're staring down a crisis to realize the gaps in your knowledge. The solution is straightforward, but not easy. Identify your weakest skills and fix them. Write down what you cannot confidently do under pressure and make it your mission to improve. These aren't nice-to-haves you can brush off until later. Water, fire, food, shelter, and security are non-negotiables. Mastering the basics means you're better prepared than someone with 10 times the gear but zero know-how. Skills are also adaptive. They teach you to think critically, adjust to unpredictable situations, and stay alive with limited resources. Invest in practical training, not YouTube tutorials, real hands-on practice. Make mistakes now, not when it counts. Test yourself in uncomfortable conditions. You'll quickly see which tools you can rely on and which are just dead weight. The shiny gear that preppers love to buy, it won't matter if your skills aren't there to back it up. At the end of the day, it's you and your abilities that will determine if you make it. 3. Silence is survival. Sharing too much about your preparedness is one of the fastest ways to make yourself a target when SHTF. It's simple math. If someone knows you've got food, water, and the means to protect yourself while they don't, you become their primary target. Desperation turns people into predators. And the more they know about you, the more vulnerable you are. Operational security, OPSEC, isn't just a suggestion. It's non-negotiable. If you can't keep quiet about your resources, plans, and capabilities, you're just painting a giant target on your back. This starts with the most basic rule. Keep your mouth shut. Never brag about your supplies, talk about your survival plans, or show off your gear. You might think it's harmless, but loose lips spread fast. That friend you trust with your secret stash? They'll mention it to someone else, and soon everyone within earshot knows exactly what you've got when things go south. People love to gossip, and it's your job to ensure you give them nothing to talk about. Blending in is critical. Don't stand out as the prepper when the situation worsens. When others are panicking, standing around with your head in the clouds won't help, but don't make yourself look bulletproof either. If people think you're well prepared, they'll come for what you have. Dress like everyone else, act like everyone else, and keep your head down. Don't be the one flaunting tactical gear or talking about your prepping philosophy when supplies run thin. Your home and supplies need stealth too. Avoid stockpiling in obvious places where people might break in and stumble across your stash. Reinforce the idea that you're just like everyone else, struggling to make it through. If people watch you roll out cans of food and jugs of water while they're starving, you'll have problems. Keep your security measures subtle but effective. The less others know about your situation, the fewer reasons they'll have to bother you. OPSEC is about self-preservation. You can't protect what you have if the whole world knows about it. Stay silent, stay hidden, and stay alive. Remember, practical security starts with protecting yourself from becoming a target in the first place. 4. Stretch every supply you have. Survival isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. If you treat your supplies like they'll magically replenish themselves, you're in for a rude awakening. When SHTF, your resources are finite, and you have no way of knowing how long they'll need to last. Whether it's food, water, or fuel, you don't consume it like it's business as usual. Day one isn't the time to eat like a king or waste a drop of clean water. Rationing is a survival skill, and it starts immediately. The biggest mistake you can make is falling into a false sense of normalcy. People often think, I've got plenty of food, or it's just for a few days, and before you know it, they've wiped through critical resources they might need, weeks or even months down the line. Treat every single supply as precious. From the instant the crisis begins, your supplies become your lifeline. The less you use, the longer you last. Start by using less than you think you need. This applies to all essentials. Eat smaller portions. Drink the minimal amount of water to stay functional. Think twice before lighting any fuel-powered devices, and make sure they're being used efficiently. Every bite of food, every drop of fuel matters more than you realize. It's not about comfort anymore, it's about survival. Wasting resources through ignorance or carelessness can and will cost you. Set strict limits for yourself and others in your group. Don't assume people will intuitively conserve when stressed. Establish rules that everyone follows and enforce them. Keeping control over resource distribution ensures you're not dealing with freeloaders or reckless consumption. No one likes to think about rationing on day one, but the sooner you implement these measures, the better your odds of making your supplies last. You're not in this for luxury. Survival requires sacrifice. If you need meatless meals and less water for a longer shot at survival, you take that trade-off. Understand the importance of stretching your resources while you continue to look for replenishment options. Waste is unacceptable, and indulging in the short term can destroy your long-term plans. Ration like your life depends on it, because it does. 5. Trust can get you killed. When a crisis hits, desperation makes people unpredictable and dangerous, even those you thought you could count on. A friendly neighbor today could be the person smashing through your door tomorrow if they're starving or scared enough. It's not paranoia, it's realism. Trusting someone too quickly in an SHTF situation can put your life in jeopardy. Trust isn't freely given when survival is on the line. It's earned through consistent actions, not words. Start by being cautious during any interaction. Approach every encounter with a healthy dose of suspicion. Someone's sob story doesn't guarantee their intentions. Watch what people do, not what they say. Ask yourself, are they helpful? Are they consistent? Are they taking risks to prove their reliability? Actions reveal character far more than a convincing plea for help. Assuming someone's on your side without evidence is naive and dangerous. You can't afford to rely on emotional judgment. Survival isn't about being nice or preserving relationships from the old world. Now it's about staying alive. Sentimentality has no place in life or math scenarios. Just because you knew someone before the collapse doesn't mean they're the same person now. Fear, hunger, and desperation push people to extremes. A neighbor might have been harmless pre-crisis, but in a survival scenario, anyone can turn into a threat. That doesn't mean isolate yourself completely. You'll need allies, but you need to vet them carefully, methodically, and with zero compromise. Set boundaries. Don't reveal your full resources, plans, or skills to someone whose trustworthiness is unproven. Share only what's necessary and keep a close eye on how they react. If someone starts acting suspiciously or seems to be fishing for information, you've got yourself a potential problem. Cut ties sooner rather than later. Trusting blindly can destroy everything you've worked to protect. Guard yourself, your supplies, and your family with vigilance. Every interaction is a calculated risk, and critical thinking keeps you alive. When in doubt, choose safety over faith in humanity. It's brutal, but so is remembering you ignored the signs after being betrayed by the person you thought you could trust. 6. The strongest weapon is your mind. Survival is more than just stockpiles and skills. It's a mental battle. The fear, grief, isolation, and chaos of an SHTF event can crush even the most physically prepared individual if their mind isn't ready for the fight. You can have all the supplies in the world, but if you fold under the pressure, none of it will save you. Mental resilience is just as critical, if not more so, than physical preparedness. Fear will try to paralyze you. It's an evolutionary response to danger, but it becomes a problem when it stops you from making decisions or acting. Preparing your mind to stay calm under pressure is something you cannot skip. Developing mental clarity in stressful situations can mean the difference between life and death. Train yourself to pause, assess, and act, even when everything feels overwhelming. The ability to suppress panic long enough to make rational choices is survival gold. Then there's grief and loss. When supplies run out, loved ones perish, or the world you knew is gone forever, the emotional toll can devastate. But survival doesn't have room for wallowing. You'll need to process the pain but also move forward. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about being functional in spite of the emotions. Grief is heavy, but in an SHTF scenario, letting it slow you down can lead to fatal mistakes. The isolation can be just as tough. If you're alone or separated from the comforts of a community, it's easy for that loneliness to erode your resolve. Start practicing mental fortitude now. Spend time alone, purposefully, without distractions. Test your tolerance for solitude. Build mental exercises into your daily life to keep your thoughts sharp and your focus intact. A mind prepared to endure isolation is far less likely to crumble when the time comes to face it. Lastly, train yourself to adapt. Rigidity in mental thinking will destroy you when the unexpected happens, which it always will. If your only plan falls apart, can you pivot without breaking? Survival is a constant improvisation game. Strengthening your mindset to handle any curveball builds a key skill that no survival kit can offer. 7. Flexibility in survival. If you think your carefully crafted survival plan is foolproof, think again. Plans fail. Supplies get destroyed. Routes get blocked. People panic and throw wrenches into even the best-laid strategies. The rigid prepper is the one who gets blindsided the fastest. The ones who survive are those with backup plans, alternate strategies, and the ability to adapt to whatever chaos comes their way. Survival is about flexibility, not stubbornly clinging to a single idea and hoping it works out. You need contingency plans. Not one, not two, but multiple. This means preparing for the worst-case scenario within worst-case scenarios. Got a primary bug-out location? Good. Now figure out a second and third location in case the first is compromised. Plan multiple routes to get there. Map out detours, visibility risks, water sources along the way, and any potential choke points where things could go wrong. Don't assume that one clear path equals success. Assume that anything that can go wrong will. Your supplies also need redundancy. Stashing everything in one place is borderline suicidal. If your main location gets raided or destroyed, you can't be left with nothing. Build supply caches at multiple locations and along your planned routes. Bury them, hide them, and keep their whereabouts known only to you. Each cache should include essentials like water, food, tools, and basic first aid items. This ensures you're never left without an option if your primary stash is lost. Think in what-ifs constantly. What if your vehicle breaks down? What if you're on foot and exposed? What's plan C? What if the weather turns and makes certain routes impassable? Do you have contingencies in place for every variable you can imagine? The answer to that must be yes. Survival is fluid, and the mindset that embraces constant reevaluation and flexibility will always win out over static, linear thinking. Most importantly, train yourself to pivot without hesitation. Adapting on the fly is what separates survivors from everyone else. Backup plans mean nothing if you freeze when your original plan fails. Conduct drills, test different scenarios, see how your plans hold up under pressure, and always assume you'll need to tweak them. Flexibility isn't just a bonus, it's non-negotiable when it comes to staying ahead of disaster. 8. If you can't defend it, you don't own it. When shifting, SHTF, ownership of resources isn't about who bought it or who claims it, it's about who can defend it. If you can't protect your supplies, they'll be taken from you. Period. Survival isn't a utopia of sharing and goodwill, it's a brutal fight for resources where only the prepared prevail. Defense isn't optional, it's the price you pay for keeping what's yours. Start by securing your location. A sturdy door isn't enough. Evaluate your perimeter and fortify weaknesses. Set up barriers, conceal entry points, and invest in security measures that make it tougher for intruders to gain access. Simple steps like installing makeshift alarms or reinforcing vulnerable windows can buy you valuable time. Defense isn't about making your location an impenetrable fortress. It's about making it hard enough to breach that the effort outweighs the reward in the eyes of an attacker. Be ready to defend actively, not just passively. Sitting around and hoping your barricades hold is a gamble you will lose. Assign watch shifts within your group. Be vigilant, especially at night when visibility is limited. Stay alert to sounds, movement, or anything out of the ordinary around your location. Assume that someone, somewhere, is considering making your supplies their supplies. Your job is to make them think twice. Preparedness also means understanding and practicing strategic defense. It's not about jumping into every fight. You don't need to be aggressive, but you do need to be tactical. Know when to defend and when to appear like less of a target. False bravado and recklessness will get you killed. The goal is to minimize conflict wherever possible, while ensuring you're fully prepared to take action when the situation demands it. Your mindset should shift. Once your resources are in your hands, consider them sacred. If someone takes them, you won't get them back, and the loss could cost you your life. Defense in this sense isn't merely about survival. It's about ensuring you have the tools to outlast everyone else. Whether it looks like surveillance, confrontation readiness, or simple situational awareness, defending your supplies is more than practical. It's necessary. If you can't defend what's yours, you never had it to begin with. 9. Comfort will kill you. Comfort is the silent enemy in survival scenarios. It makes you lazy, complacent, and blind to the risks swirling around you. When you finally secure a moment of peace, it's tempting to relax completely. But that's a trap, and it's one that could cost you your life. Comfort dulls your instincts, lowers your guard, and leaves you vulnerable to threats that never really went away. Survival isn't about kicking back and pretending everything's fine. It's about staying sharp, even when things seem to calm down. The moment you think you've achieved safety is the moment your enemies, be it people, hunger, or the elements, exploit your false sense of security. Sure, you've found a safe spot for the night, but that doesn't mean it'll stay safe by morning. You'll feel tempted to sleep longer, eat more, or waste time on things that don't really matter. Don't fall for it. Survival instincts need to be active at all times, because the harsh truth is this: danger never takes a break. Appreciate the small wins, but never settle into them. Did you find extra food or a better shelter? Great. Celebrate that small victory, but don't get overly attached to it. Resources disappear, weather shifts, and enemies adapt. What's secure today could be unstable tomorrow. Use those moments of comfort as opportunities to assess and prepare for what's next. Rest, for sure, but don't take your eyes off your surroundings. Constant vigilance is the price of survival. Comfort also clouds judgment. It tricks you into thinking you're doing well enough to loosen your routines. Maybe you stop double-checking your perimeters or skip rotating watch shifts. Maybe you get overly confident, thinking the worst is behind you. That misplaced confidence is how mistakes get made. People become less careful and start missing threats that would have been obvious if they'd stayed focused. The antidote to the comfort trap is staying uncomfortable. Keep a routine that prioritizes readiness. Rotate your contingency plans, test your escape routes, maintain regular security checks, and evaluate your supplies, no matter how well stocked you feel you are. Train your mind to see comfort not as a reward, but as a necessary pause that always ends. The moment you start to believe you've made it is the moment you lose the edge you need to survive. Comfort kills. Stay uncomfortable. Stay alive. 10th, evolve or perish. The world during a collapse doesn't sit still. Everything around you is constantly shifting, whether it's the environment, emerging threats, or new opportunities. The one thing you cannot do is stay stagnant. Survival is a process of ongoing learning, adapting, and improving. Whether you like it or not, the people who think they know everything are the first to fail. You have to keep growing, because those who don't evolve, perish. Assuming you've made all the right preparations doesn't mean a thing if conditions change tomorrow. Maybe your primary threats are human intruders one day, only to find out the next day that a natural disaster has wiped out your entire area. The strategies you relied on yesterday might not work tomorrow, and if you don't adjust fast enough, you'll fall behind. Staying alive demands your curiosity and willingness to try new approaches as circumstances constantly shift. This mindset starts with the humility to admit you don't know everything. Survival means accepting that there's always another skill to learn, another problem to anticipate, and another strategy to implement. Can you make fire without a lighter? Can you filter water in ways you've never tried before? Are there ways to turn seemingly useless items into tools? The willingness to experiment, fail, and learn is what keeps you ahead of those who refuse to adapt. Beyond skills, adapting also means learning to think differently under pressure. Today might be a game of conserving resources, but tomorrow might require you to take calculated risks. Are you ready to pivot instantly if your surroundings demand it? Flexibility in thinking is as important as flexibility in action. Tunnel vision can be just as deadly as bad decision-making. A survivor assesses everything and uses every scrap of new information to adjust their course. Finally, never stop improving your methods. If a certain way of doing things worked once, that's great. But ask yourself if there's a better way. Watch what works for others. Observe the mistakes of those who don't make it and figure out how to avoid their failures. Learning doesn't stop just because you believe you're prepared enough. Every day is a chance to improve your odds. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay ready to evolve. The rule is simple: adapt or die. Refining your skills and upgrading your mindset isn't optional. It's your best weapon in a world that refuses to stay predictable. Evolution is survival. Never stop changing or you stop surviving entirely. Ultimately, the essence of these 10 SHTF rules is about preparing yourself to face the unknown with resilience, adaptability, and foresight. Survival isn't just about stockpiling supplies or mastering skills. It's a mindset, a commitment to staying vigilant and resourceful no matter what challenges come your way. By living by these principles, you'll position yourself not only to endure, but to thrive when faced with adversity. Remember, preparation is more than a strategy, it's a way of life. Stay ready, stay adaptable, and trust in your ability to overcome anything life throws at you.